Hey guys, I'm Jackie Brubaker, your host of That Girl the Podcast. I'm an author, performer, 2-time Emmy Award winner, human relationship specialist, and founder of the wellness website loveyouevenmore.com. Each week I bring on inspiring people and experts in their field to have powerful, motivational, and enlightened conversations about relationships, self-development, and how you can live your most authentic life. Follow us for daily updates on myself and the podcast at That Girl the Podcast and at Jackie Brubaker on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, and our Patreon page. While you're at it, make sure to check out my new wellness website, loveyouevenmore.com. If you're wanting to dig into developing more self-worth, be healthier about relationships, and learn how to date smarter, go to loveyouevenmore.com and follow us on Instagram at loveyouevenmore. Welcome, Dawn Cornelius, to That Girl the Podcast. Dawn is the CEO and founder of Human. She has done some research, kids, on dating, online dating, and especially what that looks like after 40. She's got some answers. We want to hear about them. Dawn, welcome to the podcast. I'm excited for you to be here.
Yay. Thank you so much. Yep. I love the part about I got the answers. So
you got the answers. Good. Because we were looking for the answers here. Tell people a little bit more about Human and what you do and how'd you get here?
Yep. Sounds great. So for more than 8 years, I've been living and researching online dating and dating apps and discovered how it's fraught with so many challenges. I was married for over a decade and that came to an end. And at that point, I was over 40 and dating for the first time in a decade. And at this point, with kids and just a totally different juncture in life. And so I knew there had to be a better way and that I could solve it. And so I did. For those looking for their forever person, Human is a relationship app that builds deep, meaningful connections based on who people really are, using AI, machine learning, and predictive analytiks.
I'm literally going to download it right now. I'm like, I want on this app. Okay, keep going.
Yeah, and exactly. I think the motivation that you heard is that it's based on who people really are. Mm-hmm. And so that creates a more safe and honest experience. And that was what I needed. And it was what I knew that so many other people needed as well.
Absolutely. What were some of when you first got into, and by the way, that must have been horrifying. My girlfriend just got divorced this last year as well. And she is 36 and she had been married for 10 years as well. And she's like, what is this? What is this all about? It was just foreign land territory. It was so weird. What were some of the things that you were running into that so many other people are running into in the beginning?
Yeah, I think the most simple way to say it is that, I mean, what the, you know?
You can swear. You can swear on the podcast.
It was all the what those, and mainly just trying to figure out who people really are, right? You know, I had not used apps at all, after, having been married for so long and coming into that experience at this point, being a busy professional and knowing that there was not going to be an opportunity seriously to find my forever person, just limiting it to my network of my day-to-day interactions and turning immediately to apps. And I did what other people do. You download quite a few of them. And I was just blown away by one, either, you go through the discovery process to discover that they sent a representative to the app. It's not really who they are.
Yes, it's true. It's like, who is that person?
Not at all who they are.
Yeah.
Or the other was that, like, where are all the great people? Where in the world are they?
Hiding in their living rooms with their cats. That's what we're doing. We're hiding.
Clearly. Or just the insufficient information. I mean, making a life decision with a picture in 4 or 5 words or no words at all just isn't my idea of finding my forever person.
Amen. Amen to all of that. It's insane. what you just said, you're supposed to make a life decision based off of a few pictures and no words. I mean, you can't hear their voice. You can't see how they look and move. I mean, very few apps have like any kind of video of like maybe it's like a little clip of something you doing like a GIF almost,
Yeah.
but like you can't base anything off of that. You're like, okay, there's a very, I don't know, prestigious app that I was invited to be on. And it's just ridiculous. Like, I'm not going to name the app because I'm still on it, but it is ridiculous. Like, I swear when I first got on, I was like, is everyone a model and a photographer? Is everybody that? Because it was so like, they just pulled pictures from like magazines. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. Am I supposed to curate like a profile? I'm so confused.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't get it. And so like there's that happening. And then there's just your normal, like, here's me. Oh, this is my favorite thing. When men put pictures of like, here's me at a distance hiking. Here's me at a distance swimming. Here's me at a distance, I don't know, in a river or something. You're never going to see my face ever. I'm very active and good luck trying to find me in the wilderness. That's what I'm telling you. Like, what? And then on the flip side with women, and like, I haven't seen too many profiles except just friends of mine, but like, girls, stop with the filters. Please don't do that. Please refrain from the filters. Cause that girl or guy is going to see you and be like, that doesn't look like you. I'm looking at you in real life and that's not you. That's not you. All right, go on. Keep going.
No, exactly everything you're saying. And my experience, I found out wasn't just my experience. I talked to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of other people to discover that they were facing the same challenge. But there's something very specific, I think, about people who are truly looking for their forever person versus that this really is a game and people are having a great time and there's nothing wrong with that. That's the place and stage that they are in life. But it was certainly a different challenge and a shared experience among those who were, looking for something else. I think one of my most frustrating ones were profiles that had multiple people in the profile picture.
And then who is the person?
I have no idea. I have no idea.
It's usually the uglier one. I'm not going to lie. It usually is. You're like, oh, it's probably you. So how did you figure out the people who are really looking for love? Like, what is it that they were putting on their profiles, or how did you determine that to make a better app, basically?
Yeah. So the thing that I discovered is that the problem with current dating apps starts literally at the very root, from the profile. So when the user is generating the content, and most of us are more prone to create a friendlier, nicer version of ourselves, the representative, as I call it. When that is the case, more often than not, there is some level of disconnect in that. And so I realized that if I had a great profile, if I could absolutely know that this is truthful, it's honest, this is who they really are, and I could really get an opportunity to see who are you really at your core, not the long walks on the beach and I'm sexy and all that kind of stuff, but who are you really?
Yeah.
Because that's the person that you're going to end up with.
Yeah.
And of course, at this point, it's all very, very informed by life. You've lived long enough, you've seen enough, you've had enough experiences that you have a clearer version of a clearer identity of who you are, but also of who you're not and what you don't want to live with. Mm-hmm. And in my case, having navigated after a decade of marriage, I was pretty specific about where I was going at that point. Mm-hmm. And for me, at the very, very beginning of that experience is the problem. So human is what makes human different, is that we use AI and machine learning and predictive analytics, specifically AI, artificial intelligence, to create the profile. This is very, very different than anything that exists on the market.
Wow.
So people opt in to allow access to specific data like behavioral kind of data or biometric data, linguistic kinds of data, and that creates a profile. So from the very, very beginning, it's exceptional data, it's exceptional information, it's a more truthful version of who someone is. We call it an AI truth-driven profile. Mm-hmm. And from that point, now our technology makes a recommendation about who your best potential match could be. So it moves a lot of the biases that we have automatically. It allows technology to intervene, to honestly be a whole lot more human, and for us to perform more human. That if we were to kind of strip down to our naked selves and show up, in a situation where we have the opportunity to meet someone, and you didn't bring all of your stuff and all the things that prevent you from just being who you are, and they didn't either, and we could just make a decision. We could have a real conversation. And if that was, kind of filtered down in a way that only the people in the room who are your best potential match, those are the only people in the room.
Wow.
And that's the experience that users will have when human launches early 2022.
Oh my gosh. So how do you get this information? Like if I was to sign up, what would you do?
Yeah, so you would opt in to allow us to have access to think your social media or your streaming habits, that kind of information. And although it's not a perfect picture, it is a picture.
Yeah.
So we go quite deep. I don't want to say too much that's, proprietary,
Sure.
but able to analyze that data and then to make a prediction about who you are. And we know that our predictions, fall with an exceptional accuracy of creating a representation of who that person is. And from there, once we're able to understand, oh, okay, this is who Jackie is. She's, loyal and compassionate. She's daring. She, loves to have humor. She's witty. She values family, and all of these kinds of characteristics that go a lot deeper. Then we can say, okay, well, here's what we know through social science about who would be the best person for you, whether that's age and the type of characteristics, kind of those core identities. And then there are those other kind of socially constructed identities that are a little bit really outside of who we are as our core, but it does make us who we are, like race and nationality and gender and religion and politics, all those other kind of things. One of the questions I'm often asked is, oh, well, I don't know if I were to meet my person, if I were to be on your app, would I end up with the person that I'm with now? Because we have so much that's not in common.
Sure.
So one of the misconceptions is it's not like matching like.
Yeah.
Oh, I like chess, so you like chess. So, oh my gosh, we're a perfect match, which is actually a lot of kind of what happens intuitively on current platforms. Mm-hmm. That's not the best indication of who your forever person. It's the things that are much deeper. It's the values. It's the way you see vulnerability. It's the way you think about honesty and truthfulness. It's, your career direction, the things that go far deeper than just kind of the surface level. And like many other kind of new products that are coming to market, or different than those, we manage the entire consumer journey. So once a person matches, you're prompted at that point you have to have a video conversation, and that's really where you determine if, okay, the machine was great, but is it really, what does chemistry feel like? What do they sound like? How do they, resonate with me? And what do I feel as I talk to this person? And what is their, true humanity? And then you move further into the journey. And the goal of our app is that it pushes you to now meet in person in real life, because that's really, isn't that the goal? Not to create and keep just a messaging conversation on a platform. No.
I don't even like to text people in general. All my friends that get texts from me, that's because they're my best friends. But in general, I hate texting. So messaging some stranger is like my form of hell. So yeah, meeting in person is the goal. That's the goal. Wow, this is so sci-fi. Like, I love it. I feel like we're in the future, but we are here. We're in the future. Um, okay. And also I think too, it's that's kind of an age-old question of like how people have asked you, like, would I meet the person that I'm with now if I went through your app? But I think that the answer to anything is you're going to meet the person you're supposed to be with no matter what.
Exactly.
So
I totally agree. I mean, there's so many external factors that drive, all of the how did we end up here things, right?
yeah.
Where were you born? Where do you live? Who do you do life with? Where did you go to school? It's all those network effects that are actually working for or against us in many ways. But I do believe that we end up where we're supposed to be and with the people that we're supposed to be with. Modern dating, in this case, in the way we live in the world we live in, it can help you to get there faster or a whole lot longer. I mean, just think about the last almost 2 years that we've had of COVID when, I mean, there was no bar or restaurant or accidental bump in the grocery store. When these kinds of technologies have literally enabled us to stay connected to the people that we like, we love, or the people we hope to love someday.
I mean, if we didn't have dating apps during quarantine, all of us would just be calling all of our exes and be like, you up? Like, that's what we'd be doing. I certainly called a couple like, hey, what's up? We might die. Should we try this again? I don't know. So I'm sure that you've had this tested many times. Do we have any love matches yet?
No, not yet. Because we haven't completely launched at this point, but there are a lot of hungry and excited people who are excited to join. So
please put me on that list.
And our wait list is open. So those that join now early also have that advantage to be a part of our user testing. So cool. Please join.
It's just so interesting. And I love the name of it, human, which just makes me feel so much better too. I'm like, oh, thank you for calling me just a human instead of a girl or a woman or whatever. Like, I'm just a human looking for another human to do this life with. Okay. And on just more of like a regular dating thing. So say you've joined human, how can you be, and you're 40 and over, how can you be a better dater? Like, what things do you suggest people do to actually help them find love for real, especially if you're going on human and you're like, I really want to meet my person?
Yeah, that's such a great question. And thank you for the affirmation about the name as well. That was really important to me. I was married for over a decade heterosexually and had 3 kids and a lot of life, during that time. But today I'm same gender loving and a lot older and, all these different identities, these kind of intersection of identities that are here. And so what I've realized, along the way of all these years is that at the core of humanity is this most basic need for every human is to just connect and to be in a deep, meaningful relationship with another human. And sometimes we overcomplicate that idea, and it's really not that complicated. Even as I think about my kids, my wish for them is exactly what you said, is that they will meet, a wonderful human who knows who they are, who values who my child is, and can love them as my child loves himself. And so it's just that simple. And the desire to create a product for all humans, regardless of what your partner preference is, regardless of where you are in the world. The one thing that brings us all together is this most basic need. It's our core need, around belonging. So thank you for that. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Around the things that I've learned, they're really, deduce them into basically 4 buckets. So someone that says, okay, I'm ready, I'm ready for love and I'm ready to jump on Human or any other product or way that you're going to navigate that. First of all, it's having intense self-reflection. So wrestling with your own issues. Number one.
Yes, kids. Yes.
There is no getting around it. You have to, do the work, the introspection to determine who you really are. Step one. The second thing is that I think there has to be a certain kind of humility in which you release your need to be right.
Oh.
And that's
I don't think there's so many people who won't get past that step. There's just not. It's a lot of men. Sorry, guys, but that's a lot of men. Go on. I applaud you. Let's try to get past that step.
You have to have the ability to defer judgment, right? And we all have that. There's a natural bias, this tendency to look at a situation. Our brain sees something, it computes what we see, and we have an emotional reaction, and then we come back with a judgment. Mm-hmm. You have to wrestle with that and release it. That you may not be right. I know that I've gone into relationships with these very black and white views of myself as well as other people. Mm-hmm. And more often than not, I've learned that I was wrong. I was wrong about them, and I was certainly wrong about myself. Mm-hmm. And that has provided some of the most growth for me. And as I've talked to, just countless other people along the way, the same kind of experience. There was some pivotal moment when they realized, oh my gosh, how in the world could I have been so wrong? But if we can embody that and hold on to that earlier, we'll be a lot more productive. The third thing I'd say is you have to be willing to be seen, to be vulnerable.
Yeah.
So it ties into the one I just mentioned. If you can release your need to be right and defer judgment, you free yourself for not being judged as you don't judge other people. And it will lead to you being more willing to be seen, to be truly seen, to be vulnerable, and to be courageous. And that is what it means to truly be human.
I was just thinking you have to be really brave. And being really brave like that requires a lot of work on the inside. And that will help you release the need to be right, or at least it will give you the moment to be like, maybe I'm not right. Let me get more information. Let me just sink into this and be like, hold on, am I missing something? And maybe you don't even get it then. You get it later, like you're saying, like, oh gosh, I had no idea. And now I see it. Now I get it. But the humility to show up. I think what's so special about your app too is that you're stripping people away of what they would normally put for, first in front or whatever the saying is. And you're saying like, this is what we see of you. How do you feel about that? Are you okay with that? Yeah. And I'm sure a lot of people will push back, be like, oh no, that's not at all what I would put out there. But that's actually what that person is. So I think, like if you can do that work as you're doing the app, as you're getting used to just being really seen, I mean, my God, like how could you not fall in love? Like how could you not meet someone who's coming from that same exact place of vulnerability and being like, we're ready. Let's just be us.
Yeah. And that's the very, very place where it can happen. And not just in a love and romantic kind of relationship, but any kind of relationship. Mm-hmm. And ultimately, whether we admit it or not, at the very, very core, at the very, very core is that question around, do I matter? Do you see me? Can I be heard? Mm-hmm. And if you see and hear me, will you still love me? Am I still enough? And that has nothing to do with gender or race or ethnicity. It has everything to do with just what it means to be us, to be human. Yeah. And you're exactly right about the design of the app is meant to do that. So the reason why, the very first thing I, put out there was that this, intense self-reflection and wrestling with your own issues is because there is an intent for the app to be that as much for you as it is for it to be this tool to help you find your forever person. So it's very, very interesting. We've all been in, the great kind of success coaching or self-help classes when they've said, okay, take a look at your bank account or, look at your calendar. And what does it say? And what does it say about you? And we've all kind of been like, well, that really is not exactly who I am.
Yeah.
But if we allow that process to happen and be a little bit more reflective, if what you do is not who you are, then there is an opportunity for you to change. Mm-hmm. But if what you do is who you are, there is a piece of ownership to that as well. And if we want to be something different, we have to first do that kind of reflection and releasing judgment of ourselves and being willing to be seen and being vulnerable as well.
Wow. I mean, this app works on both ends. It helps you find a mate, but it also helps you find you. Gosh, yep. That's so true. Are you what you say you are? Are you what you do? How did you just word that again?
Yeah, if what you do is not who you are, then there is an opportunity for you to reflect on that.
Yeah, because I think, there's the ideal of who we want to be and what we think we are, but like sometimes it's just a fantasy that we've believed for so long that isn't actually real. And this could be that moment that you're like, oh, I'm really not that. And I love what you said too about like, look at your calendar. What does that say about you? I'm like, oh my God, it would just say I'm just a really busy podcast host. Seriously, it would just be like podcast. It'd be like, where are your friends? Where are they? I'm like, they're on the phone. That's what it would say about me. I love this. I think that there is a generational evolvement happening right now, not to get into my waist hippy dippy part, but like, I do really believe there is a huge spiritual shift and it's a generational thing right now. And I think that you are doing some really good work to help people really help them find others that they truly connect with, whether it's love or friendship or whatever, just to find like-minded people that they, we just want to, like you said, we want to be seen and heard for who we really are. And this feels like a real chance to do that.
Well, thank you so much. Over the weekend, I was in a conversation with a colleague, and he caused me to really reflect on why this matters so much to me. I would have said, and it is true, that, well, what I'll say is that, what I want my legacy to be, and that's like last moments, is to be thought of and be remembered as someone who really cared and valued and empowered other people to have deep, meaningful connections. And why that matters to me is, from my own birth story I was abandoned in a hospital and rescued by my paternal grandmother, who later found out she was my paternal grandmother. And this sense of being valued by someone so much that they would do anything and everything to save you, and to be in community and connection. My whole life has been marked by those kinds of meaningful connections where people stepped in either heroically or almost silently just to be. But the conversation this weekend revealed also just how much other things like my love for music and being a musician and artist and love of all those kinds of things have also been a way to just create connection. That thread has always run throughout my life in a way that I wasn't even aware of. And I think that it's something that's incredibly important for all of us. And I'm excited about what this technology is going to do to really revolutionize this space, but also just any matching market space. I mean, just think of all the ways where we really want to be seen and valued for who we are, not just in a romantic relationship, but when you show up or are interested in a job, I mean, could you just really see who I really am, beyond just the few titles from a resume? But there's so much more depth that a person brings to an organization beyond that. And so there's just so many other ways where this really, really matters. But
wow,
people get to show up and know that they're valued for who they are.
Oh my gosh, Dawn, you have created some really important technology. I'm really excited for you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Girl, damn. Well, you are leaving a legacy. So tell people, so you said early 2022 it's coming out, right?
Yes, yes. The technology build. I wish it was already there, but building something so intense is time and money. So
I can imagine. Well, tell people how they can follow you and find you so that they can keep up on this and hear the date that it comes out.
Yes, sounds great. So my personal Instagram is @dcornell, Cornel. But for human, all of our handles are @myhumanapp, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, soon to be one day TikTok. And then our website is myhumanapp.com, and they can join the wait list now and get to be a part of some of the early users. We have product on our site as well. So lots of ways they can get involved and start repping and telling their friends and family about this great technology.
Okay, awesome. Thank you so much, Dawn. This was an amazing conversation.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a joy.
Thanks so much for listening to the podcast. Remember, sharing is caring. Make sure to rate the podcast and leave a review. We really rely on this to help get the podcast out there. Also, make sure to watch the video version on YouTube at That Girl the Podcast.